Hey guys, and welcome back to another Division video. Now today, let's talk about this sniper build. I know this build has been nerfed, but it needed to be nerfed because it was too good. It was bound to happen. I'm talking about the Chain Killer Hotshot White Death build. Now this is not really anything new, but I wanted to put this build in this channel because this is like one of the best builds I experienced when I came back to Division. For those people that are curious of what the items are, here you go. White Death for the weapon, Scorpio shotgun just for enemies near to you. CC them, crowd control. Scorpio does that, does a lot of crowd control status effects. And lastly, we have a handgun. It could be Prophet. I'm using D50 right here, but it could be Prophet too, right? If you have this gun here, it's a named item, Prophet. It has perfectly determined. That could work too. 4-piece Hotshot. For the chest piece, we are using Chain Killer. And for the backpack, we are using the Gift. For the skills, since we are using the Sharpshooter Specialization, I figured we take advantage of that and use the Tactician Drone, which pulses enemies around it. For the other skill, I'm using Reviver, just for more survivability. For the SHD level, I would suggest to prioritize headshot damage. As you can see here, my headshot damage isn't really high, it's actually 0. But if you like sniping, maybe put those points there first before the other ones like critical hit chance and critical hit damage or weapon damage. And the other stat that you need to have is weapon handling, or for this case, stability. Right now my stability is 50, it's a really nice stat, but I know a lot of people are already maxed out, so you don't have to worry about this, right? Okay, so let's go to the specialization. Sharpshooter. Make sure to unlock this mod right here, Digital Scope. It does give you more headshot damage compared to the normal one. Pick this one, which is 15% marksman rifle damage. And since I'm using a shotgun for my secondary weapon, I chose to put some points here. 15% shotgun damage. And this is a really nice specialization because it does increase our headshot even further. Is that we get extra 15% headshot damage if you take this one. That applies to rifles and marksman rifles. Another one, really nice, 15% increased weapon stability, reduced recoil, and faster acquisition of targets. This is very important when you're using a sniper rifle because you need to be very accurate in order to hit your enemies. Now, if you don't want to use the drone, then you could skip this one. But this is another really nice stat or passive that we can unlock. After 20 seconds in cover, you start generating 5 marksman rifle and 5 rifle ammo every 10 seconds. That is very nice. For the rest of the stats, you could get that later. Okay, so let's go to the weapons. The main weapon for this build is the White Death. It is a named sniper rifle. Yellow. You could farm this in Summit or Countdown. The unique thing about this weapon is that it has like some extra headshot damage here. You can see the stat there, it's a bit yellow compared to the rest. I got a pretty good one. We have 15% marksman rifle damage, 137% headshot damage, and 12% stability. Now the talent that you want for this weapon, you need to modify it, is determined. After killing an enemy with a headshot, the next shot landed on any enemy will be a guaranteed headshot. While the talent is active, killing an enemy will not retrigger the talent. That is the nerf that they did with this talent. Is that back then you could just keep on like shooting enemies in the body and that would deal headshot damage. But now they did nerf it. I think the nerf is pretty fair. That one before, the version before this one was pretty broken. So I'm pretty okay with this. It is still a fun talent to use. Okay, so let's go to the mods that we put to White Death. The most important thing here is using the digital scope that we got from Sharpshooter, which gives us 45% headshot damage. Although we do get a minus 5% critical hit damage there, it doesn't matter too much. Next, we want to use 10% stability, very nice stat for snipers. And lastly, for the magazine, I chose 5% weapon damage. Now there are a few options here. We have reload speed and rate of fire. Rate of fire doesn't really help us that much. Reload speed, 20% seems a lot, but since we're using the Hotshot gear set, if you're good, you don't need to reload that much because Hotshot bonus, once you're doing headshots, it automatically fills the magazine. So no need to worry about reload speed too much. Now next up, let's go with the secondary weapon, which is the Scorpio. You don't have to have this. This is just a secondary weapon, just in case you are getting rushed. You whip this out and just shoot enemies. It deals a bunch of status effects you can see here. Septic shock. Shooting a target applies stack of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing the stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. First, poison, disorient, shock. Target takes additional 20 damage from all sources. Stacks no longer increase. Basically, it just crowd controls enemies. Really nice shotgun, but you don't have to worry if you don't have this one. You could just equip an assault rifle there or maybe an SMG. Just make sure that it's a weapon that you could whip out once enemies are near. You should be good. Okay, so for the sidearm, it's not really important, but maybe put determined there on your talent. It could be perfectly determined. It's on profit, which is a yellow item. This is not really needed. It could be a D50 with determined. That would work too. You could put here finisher, but finisher doesn't really buff the headshot damage that your sniper rifle does. It does buff your shotgun or your other weapons, maybe an assault rifle. That would work too. It's up to you what type of sidearm you want. I suggest that if you are low on resources, save it and just try to re-roll something else. Okay, so after that, let's go to the armor. I'm wearing 4 pieces of Hotshot gear set. Now what this gear set does is that if you wear 2 pieces, you get 30% marksman rifle damage. Also 30% weapon handling, which is very nice. You need weapon handling in these type of builds. 3 pieces, it gets you 30% more headshot damage. And lastly, the 4-piece bonus, which is headache. First headshot with a marksman rifle will increase the next headshot by 20%. Second consecutive headshot with a marksman rifle will give 10% armor. If at full armor, it gives bonus armor, max 50% of current armor value. Third consecutive headshot will refill the magazine. Lastly, from the 4th headshot forward, agents will get all 3 bonuses for each consecutive headshot kill. Missing a headshot will reset the cycle. So basically what you need to do is just try to keep hitting headshots. But since we're wearing chain killer, we could alternate between headshot and body shot. Now the stats that you want for the mask is weapon damage, headshot damage, and headshot damage. Let's go to the chest piece. We have here chain killer. The first bonus that we get here is 5% weapon damage. Stats that you want for this item is weapon damage, weapon handling, headshot damage, and headshot damage. Lastly, this is a yellow item, so it has the talent Perfect Headhunter. Now you could do this with a different item and maybe just use Headhunter, that works too, but the talent is after killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deal additional 150% of that killing blow damage. Damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150. Now, since we are using a marksman rifle, you don't have to worry about that headshot damage if it's greater than 150. You know, we have like headshot damage on our gear and our marksman rifle bonus, so no need to worry about this. You will get that max 1250. Alright, next up we go to the holster. Again, it is Hotshot holster. What you want for this one is weapon damage and headshot damage. Pretty much all the stats you need is just prioritize headshot damage and stability or weapon handling. For the backpack, I am using this one, the gift. It is a yellow item. It gives 15% headshot damage, and the stats that we need here is honestly, stability should be the stat here, but I don't have it. Headshot damage, and then headshot damage for the mod. Now this piece here is perfect vigilance. Increases total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage disables this buff for 3 seconds. Now this talent is very nice since we are a sniper. We're just hanging back, sniping enemies. We're not supposed to get hit. And even if we get hit, it just disables the buff for 3 seconds. It's really nice. I suggest that you try to get this one. You could use other talents as well, as long as it increases the damage of our weapon. Now for the gloves, again, still using Hotshot here. What you want is weapon damage and headshot damage. For the knee pads, still Hotshot, weapon damage and headshot damage. Okay, that is it for the gear. We are using all red pieces here, no armor. We want to put out as much damage as possible when hitting enemies. No need to worry about defense or armor that much, especially if we are playing with other people. But honestly, I like running this build in solo. Just try to be very careful, stay at the back. If an enemy is near you, just run back and take cover and maybe use your shotgun, and you should be fine. Now next up, we're gonna take a look at the skill. Now for the skill, you can unlock this drone mods and this version of the drone, which is tactician, when you pick sharpshooter as your specialization. So for this one, we have 15% duration. The other mod that we have is 20% scan range. Now lastly, we have 6% damage reduction. This doesn't really do anything for this version of the drone, but I don't have anything here that works. We have armor repair here, we have damage reduction and damage. So I guess if you have like duration here, use that. Maybe health would be nice. For the other skill, I'm using Reviver. For the mods, I have here stim efficiency, duration, and repair charges. It could be range too. Okay, so here we are at the shooting range. Now this build has lots of buffs. Right now there are only 2 icons at the bottom. The one on the right, that is perfect vigilance. That is 25% more damage as long as we don't get hit. As soon as we shoot enemies with the headshot, we get a bunch of icons. Now I will zoom in. Now on the far right, that is perfectly determined. That means that our next shot would be automatically a headshot. Next on the left of that, the skull icon with the thunder on the forehead, that is the buff that we get from the Hotshot gear set. And on the left of that icon right there, that is perfect Headhunter, the one that we get from Chain Killer. Okay, so the icon there at the far right, which is perfectly determined, when you have that icon, any shot that you do will be a headshot. Whether it's a body shot, a leg shot, a toe shot, it doesn't really matter. You can see it here. I would shoot this enemy here on the chest. It will be a headshot. But right after you do that, it was nerfed. Back then, you could do it continuously. Every shot will be a headshot, but right now, once you do a shot, it will be immediately removed. Whether it's another headshot or a body shot, that icon at the bottom, it's gone now. What we need to do is do another headshot to get the buff. There you go, it's there again. We could shoot another enemy here in the chest, and it will be gone. One thing to note is that even if we do a headshot, and let's say we do a headshot again, it will be removed on the bottom right. You can see it there. That was another headshot, but the buff was removed. Now another thing that we get from the Hotshot gear set is bonus armor. Every time we do those headshots, we get bonus armor, which is very nice. Lastly, the Hotshot gives another bonus which refills our magazine as long as we keep doing headshots. One thing that I forgot to show earlier is how insane the damage is. Okay, let me just do a headshot here. Now the next shot should be a headshot even though it is a body shot. There we go. Next one is headshot. Now this is an elite, or what is this again? Elite. You can see it there. It's a yellow, it has like a yellow life bar. I would shoot it on the body since we have like the determined buff, and it will kill it immediately. Right? That is a elite. I'm one-shotting a elite. Headshot, body shot. Now we could move this here and change it to named. This is like the yellow enemies. Headshot, body shot. Only one bullet, guys. Very strong. Can't really see the numbers, but back then I was able to do like 24 million. I think it's lower now. Anyways, guys, that is it. I don't want to make the video too long. Next time I will try to keep the videos under 15 minutes. But my thoughts about the build, I think the build is very strong. Of course, the previous version was so strong that it had to be nerfed. But this build reminds me of the sniper build in Division 1. Deadeye, but Deadeye is much easier to play and more fun in my opinion. You just need to scope, zoom in, and just shoot enemies. This one you have to worry about getting headshots and then a body shot. Sometimes you might have to look at the buffs that you got. Overall, I think it's a fair build. If you're really good at taking headshots, this is a build for you. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.